Change 2018 update 14. Turkey. Hello, Will and
Hello,
Lisa.
Jack. Hello, Jack.
You've got your little book out.
I have. I shall put it away now because that's for later.
Yes, that's for later. Right, Change 2018. What loose way are we going to look at change this week? We are going to talk about dealing with change.
Yeah, well done, Bethany. Thank you for selecting that topic.
Well done. So there are many. Well done. There are many different variants of the word change, and we're going to look at dealing with change, whether that be change of circumstances, change in your pocket.
Oh, yes, you've just reminded me, yes.
Changing the keys so somebody can turn that car alarm off. I don't know if you can hear it, but that's going on and on and on. Let's first talk about change of circumstances. So, we know that we deal with vulnerable and homeless people, and we go on and on and on about how people aren't house ready, what they need supported living, all that kind of thing. So, somebody changing their life from the streets to a house, what kind of thing does that entail? And once again, I do apologise for the amount of leg on show.
I think one of the things that perhaps people don't appreciate is that if you have a house and then you become homeless for a period of time, you're
well, there's that change to deal with.
Yeah,
as well.
you're very vulnerable. Also, you're in a very difficult state of anxiety because things are changing around you that you have no control over, and you're down very often to somebody else's whim to change circumstances, so you're not in control. So then when you acquire accommodation and you can start making some differences and changing things in your own life, you're then back in control. And for some folk, that's a really difficult transition, because
especially as you've had to, for a long time, if you're homeless, security is a massive issue. So you might be sleeping with one eye open all the time. You can't make friends.
It's all your personal possessions.
You lose the network that you've built around you. You definitely become more isolated
when you get a home.
When you go into accommodation.
Very good point, Lisa.
So there's a lot of changes, and we have one of the expressions of House of Bread, isn't it? The one constant is change. You have to be alert to constant changing in circumstances. If you have property and you're fortunate enough to live in a house and your life is fairly routine, then there's a comfort of that routineness, isn't there?
Well, we all know what happens if the washing machine breaks or something.
Exactly, chaos.
It completely knocks you. If something that small affects your entire life, like for example, if it's raining and your sleeping bag gets wet, that's gone. What are you going to sleep in the next
night?
I think
it's the state of anxiety and nervousness around the things you can't control. That's a lot of people talk to me about that, is that they just feel, just giving up because everybody else is impinging on their world. The benefit system, we've talked about.
Well, we're going to talk about that later on. And also, that's a lot of the reason why a lot of people who are homeless just take their homeless life into a house, so they won't have anything. I mean, we've met people who've been sleeping with no bed, no carpet, no white goods, no nothing, because if it goes wrong, they can't control that.
So there's a feeling that there's no permanency either. So that level of trust in the process, the authority, the support that's there. One of the reasons that we are always open on the days that we say we're going to be open is because that is the consistency. So
we are the constant in there.
And so a lot of people's diaries, we see, House of Bread's open, we'll go there.
That's not out of choice, that's out of necessity. As soon as somebody doesn't have to come down, they will choose not to.
But I just think it's very difficult to get into a mindset where you are at the behest of somebody else changing your life, whether it's a system change, which is complicated to address anyway, and having to manage change around that. I mean, you only have to look at the way the benefit system has changed.
We were given some budgeting training.
We were. Thank you. Who was that young
That was Mike Batchelor.
Thank you, Mike. It was
excellent.
Thank you,
Mike.
Yes.
And dealing with change in that way, changing your pocket, your bank account and stuff, the benefit system at the moment is big news. It's moving from all the different ESA, JSA, ABCD, EFG, HIJK
into one big
HSBC, all of those things.
PTO.
It's PTO. They are changing it all into what's called universal credit, which is meant to make things easier. That's up for debate, which we won't go into because we haven't got time. But what that will mean is, for a lot of people, for a period of time, it can take 6 weeks where people will not get any money. So budgeting is going to be a huge thing.
Did they talk about the fact that a lot of people will be given money to spend and budget themselves? I can see that as a massive challenge for somebody.
So people will be given, they'll be paid their housing benefits, which they then have to give to their housing association, rather than it going straight to their housing association. But if you have an addiction, if you
That
have
money's going to be diverted,
anything like
isn't
that,
it?
it's going to be very difficult for people
Yeah,
to.
I can see why you would want to be encouraged to be independent, but equally, I think that is open to an awful lot of concern about people whose inability to manage their budgeting, or as you say, if they've got an addiction.
So how are we helping people deal?
Well,
with
I mean,
that
one of the things is
training?
we are getting the training,
Yep.
which means that people can come into to our building. We had about 12 people at the training.
Yeah, we did.
It
It
means
was
that
good.
we can actively approach anybody with any questions, whether it says, "Are you okay? Are you coping?" or somebody coming in saying, "I'm not coping." We've got people who can talk them through how to start a budget system, what that
Yep.
process is, where to go and get some advice. It was really, really helpful, and everybody's going to be affected because we have to trade in money. It's a fact,
Yeah.
you know.
Thank you very much, Will and Lisa.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you very much at home for watching. Don't forget to check out Hob News over on YouTube after this. That's where all the exciting things happen. And there is an update on Molly Gibson, the long-running episodic story of Molly Gibson. Right, we shall stop talking and we shall see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.